Give me a second. Gotta open this. All right. Can I see my screen? I'm gonna change the color. Hold on. All right. Turn that off. So let's make sure we're live on YouTube. All right, we can hear me. Beautiful. Beautiful. Again, sorry I'm on the MacBook, guys. Like, the screen's not working. Better. Better. It's good mornings, Henry. Just haven't chatted, George. What's your problem? Taco G, what are you talking about? Are you like for legacy? If you're talking about for legacy, but Greg's here too. Greg will handle. YM? No. NQ. I just have YM open. Fuck gold, fuck NQ, fuck YM. Honestly, guys, beautiful day today. If you guys have been joining me during Power Hour, which I hope you guys are, absolutely killing it. Had a win yesterday. Absolutely ran. Oh my God, it ran so hard. Had another win today. Super nice little buys. Absolutely caught a nice little banger, 1 to 2, maybe a little bit bigger. I think I exited about 1 to 2. Some people held a little bit longer, but price ended up coming back down. And now we're kind of playing into it today. Honestly, like, I could see myself selling here. And I'll kind of go over why. So the reason I could see myself selling is because, again, like, one, we had a crazy bullish leg play higher. Okay, we had some type of internal trend switch or flip where price came lower internally, made a new bearish leg, had a pullback, and is looking to continue lower. And again, what was this? Yeah. And again, one thing I am looking for is price to take these lows. Like, it should, in theory, take these lows. But ultimately, the reason I took these buys was because we had this even lower time frame internal bearish trend. Why is my shit fucking red? We had this lower time frame bearish trend here. Let me make sure my shit's adjusted correctly. All right, had this bearish trend. I knew that yes, price could come lower, but we saw a structure shift on the 1 minute, took that pullback because we knew that price can have that pullback before it continues lower. And now that it's had that pullback, I do think we can continue lower from here on out. So what am I going to look for? I'm going to look for some type of 1 minute structure. First thing first, I can see that price has, after we had that initial sell-off, we should take these lows as well. We had some type of bullish internal flip where price is now coming higher. We can see from maybe a 1 minute standpoint if there's anything worth taking. Like, truly speaking, guys, I want to take sells. Let's make sure you guys can hear me and see me. Okay. Here's one thing, is we are technically bullish within like this swing structure here. Okay. But obviously higher time frame context really does call for sells, at least in my opinion. But I truly have to wait for a break of this low. And the reason I wouldn't want to sell right now, actually, hold on. Yeah. The reason I wouldn't want to sell right now is because we just hit the 50% of this entire range here that broke higher, that broke these highs. Therefore, I think that price can still obviously hold bullish within this overall trend. But nonetheless, it can end up going lower. We could play some of these lows going further down. But I'd rather just honestly wait for price to break these lows, and then maybe we play the pullback of that new bearish leg, or wait for that bearish leg to form and potentially play, break lower. Asia does look shit. Try opening an account, but my payment didn't go through, so I can't. So I tried opening another account on Legacy, but it shows all fields are required. Taka, I'd say just make a ticket and tell them. They may be able to like reset your account, or may have to reset your account if it's saying like all fields are required and you filled every field out. And if it's just like kind of glitching, I'd say. What's oil and legacy? Someone answering that. Is it banned? Because you guys were probably spamming it the other day. And Mod said, fuck you guys. CL, thank you, Henry. Fire. If you use code Nick, you get a nice little discount. I don't know. I forget if it's 15% right now or 25%. It's one of them. All right, so let's go over the other buys. So you guys also, again, yesterday we took shorts on DAX, right? I got off after I took profits here. You guys remember I did take shorts yesterday, took a little pullback of this new bearish internal leg, pulled back into 50%, entered. We exited half my position at 101 and moved to break even. Let the other half run to 1 to 2. Obviously barely missed that 1 to 2, and the rest of it did get taken out of break even, but nonetheless still profited on that trade. And now we can look for 2 days price. So I'd like to see a break of this low, truly. But nonetheless, we've kind of just wicked it so far. I guess within this 5-minute structure, like this 5-minute structure looks good though. Like this 5-minute structure has been trending very nicely. Down, 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 even to here where price hit that imbalance or hit that equilibrium, and Loki could look to short more. But being that we haven't taken this swing low, I'd consider this a swing low in this more internal chop. That once we kind of get that break, I'd probably wait for a pullback of this entire leg here to then look to take it down further. But obviously what could happen is price could just continue within this internal trend, absolutely break and just melt. I doubt it'll melt that much. That's a big move, but nonetheless it could. And we'll see. Because price also could be within this internal trend. Obviously we did hit equilibrium, but we could be reacting off some type of lower time frame. Obviously like right here, this bearish internal trend, bullish internal trend, where price can come deeper within this overall pullback and then sell off. And if that's the case, maybe we do look for a lower time frame setup, because I do think price will continue lower into these lows, into that swing low, because we had the 15-minute break, we had a pullback. Obviously we're from a 5-minute standpoint, we did, like, this is a new high, I guess you could say, but nonetheless from a 15-minute it's a little bit different. Just looks like a deeper pullback of this initial bearish leg. To take price lower. But again, if price does end up going higher off the rip, I would honestly prefer that, to see a break of this high and then see if price rebroke those lows, and we can play that 5-minute down, knowing that we should take these lows as well. We haven't taken Tokyo highs either, so we could come up, take Tokyo highs, and if that happens and we flip, wow, we could just play a break of low. I mean, we could actually play some risk on the table and play like the 7%, but nonetheless, like, again, price can just absolutely rip here, so it's just not worth it. Check over, might be looking for longs. We are trading NQ, DAX, and UK 100. I heard that the ceasefire didn't even hold, Lucas. What chart am I? What do you mean? Already broke those lows on my chart. Oh, we did? What the fuck? Why is it so different? Using forex.com. The best one. I use Pepperstone. Yeah, you're right. See, I don't like that shit. But at that point, we could play the pullback of this entire new leg lower. And if we did hit 50%, we could play aggressive and hop in, knowing that if we do end up coming up bullish, I think we could just be taking liquidity of Tokyo highs. Obviously, that's a massive stop, though. That's a massive fucking stop. Obviously, that's a 15-minute move. We could just wait for, obviously, Tokyo highs to be taken. Either way, even if like on the other chart that we're looking at where it didn't break these lows, either way, like I think I would want to wait for the pull up, take Tokyo highs, and then proceed to make a new internal low. And then we just play that new internal low just for extra confirmation. So either way, like I want to see price take Tokyo highs, create a new internal low, and then we can play trend down. UK 100, I'll check gold right now. UK 100, kind of different story for UK 100. Nonetheless, like we did end up going lower internally, but we held at this area. This is why I said I didn't want to take these sells, is because again, like I wanted to see price break this low first, right here. So seeing that it held, but obviously we didn't go any higher. But nonetheless, we were creating a lot of liquidity in these highs. Can't lie, a lot of accumulated liquidity within here. So we could see a nice little bullish push here. Yeah, that kind of almost changes my bias on DAX, because DAX and UK 100 have been moving stupidly similar. So it bugs me. Okay, with NAS, I expect a lot of these lows to be taken, especially because we have Tokyo sitting down lower too. Like I'm just thinking, even though we're bullish within this area, I'm hoping we just continue to react lower. And like maybe, I wouldn't even want to do that. I wouldn't even want to take any short positions until we kind of break this low, just because we can react higher. The times are all off here. What the fuck? It's not even true Tokyo session range. Why are they so fucked up? So this is our true high of Tokyo. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we definitely took lows. Do we have open? Oh, okay, we're about to open, guys. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. Like from a higher time frame context of UK 100, we still need a pullback to happen. I guess we're creating liquidity on both sides here. Like we're just kind of accumulating liquidity on both sides here. So I think we can go both directions. I just have a feeling, and I hope what happens is on UK 100 and DAX, we just take Tokyo highs and we look to take lows from there on out. Especially with DAX, if we do come up, take highs, or at least take Asia highs, and then start to flip back lower, creating new internal bearish trend. I'm going to shoot, but not yet. NASDAQ, again, like I have a lot of kind of back and forth movement here, but I'm favoring sells, especially just based off previous price, favoring sells heavily here, taking Tokyo lows. But nonetheless, just because I'm favoring sells doesn't mean sells will play out. Like obviously we can be looking for buys, and I would say like maybe a break of this high, but nonetheless, like I think you would still need to see a break of these highs, because within like this trend here, we had a nice little bullish push. We attempted a break, didn't break lower, finally broke lower here, but nonetheless, that just means we're playing within this entire range, because this never had a break of structure. We only had the break of structure here, and the last high from that, before that break of structure was here. So I need to see a break of these highs if we were to look for some type of buying opportunity, because taking a break of these highs and waiting for a pullback here could fuck us over, because we could still be trading within this internal bearish trend here for all we know. So that extra bit of confirmation is key. Let's see if we would have entered too at the 75% or 71%, if we would have absolutely rocked out on this trade for a nice little 1 to 2. Obviously, we definitely can, because we're now taking Tokyo highs, and the overall bias is for price to take highs here and then continue within its bearish higher time frame trend, where we'll look for some type of selling opportunity. But like one thing with this too though, and like again, like the reason I would probably prefer to enter at 71%, it was just way more risk obviously, is being that once we break these lows, like let's say we come down and we just end up going down abruptly, breaking these lows, we're now no longer playing this internal trend, where I'd rather play that internal trend. We are now playing the overall swing move of this entire leg. So from that high to wherever price ends up closing beneath these lows. And that means I do have to play a deeper pullback potentially, rather than playing the smaller time frame pullback, which again still could pay out off. But Tokyo ripped higher. What's NQ doing? But DAX looks good, guys. Like if you took that 7% entry, you're getting a nice rejection, but nonetheless, again, like I need to wait for a bit more confirmation, because price could still just absolutely rip. It could just rip and take a lot of this liquidity here. There's still a lot of resting liquidity up here. Nasty wick. We down near be close to a 101. All right, let's recap. What's up, Damon? That would have been my approach on tax sales. What do you mean your approach? Like in what aspect? Taking the 7% entry? Yeah, Lucas, I agree. Yeah, I did hold 2 hours. Does it move similar to gold, George? I haven't really paid attention to that. To put enter, I'd say use M and Q, Kevin. M and Q. What are we looking at today, Nick? Potential DAX shorts, NAS shorts. What's the name of this chart? It's called M and Q. Sorry, I was kind of ranting away. Oh my gosh, price absolutely ripped. Fuck. Price ripped off 71%. Again, like I could have taken this, but it would just been a bit riskier. Like obviously our 101 is, we're about halfway to 101, and we would have smacked a beautiful 102 if price does rip. But like that's just a textbook liquidity sweep. Still bearish within this internal trend. Could take price lower. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. But again, like the reason I can't really care too much about it, or I don't really, is because again, like the opposite could have happened. Like I could have taken this trade, not necessarily impulsively, but understanding there's more risk behind it, and we could have just absolutely got fucking blown out of the water, and price could have just ripped. Obviously, that's not the case here, and that just gives us more confirmation that okay, we are still definitely potentially looking for sells. Like obviously, price could take those highs, comes down, takes the lows, and then just absolutely rip back up. But nonetheless, structure kind of tells us we should go lower, just based off the higher time frame and seeing that we're very overextended. We know we need to pull back deeper within that overall range, so we know that price can come lower. Again, like my biggest thing right now is just like what I really don't like is the fact that we have to get a break of this low. Not that we have to, but if we do, I'm just now stuck playing this larger move, which I think it could definitely still hit, come back up, hit 50%, but it's obviously a really big stop loss. And two, it's not that it's less guaranteed, but I don't know how to explain it to you guys. I would just have preferred to play this move. But obviously, I could still play this move if we're going to break these lows without breaking these lows, and we're still like trending bearish internally. I will take this move. I will take the more of an internal trend approach rather than the swing approach. What's Nas doing? See, Nas is selling. Nas is selling. We have good liquidity below. We already took Asia highs. Like, obviously, I could trade internal trend. And what I tell you guys, like, I wouldn't have wanted to take a break of these highs because, again, like, we are still internally bearish within this leg here because this is the last high before the break. Therefore, if we're going to stay bearish, we're probably going to respect or pull back within that overall range before going lower. And then that's kind of what we're doing. I mean, we may hold at these lows and just rip back up, but nonetheless, I think we'll break these lows. And yes, I could play this new leg lower. But again, like, the one thing with that is price could just be coming deeper within the overall discounted price to then continue back up within the 5-minute swing trend rather than going down. Whereas waiting for the break of these lows, we could play the pullback. But obviously price could take liquidity and do something else. It's just not the best situations today. Like, good overall directional bias as far as the understanding where price should go, just not the most optimal entries today. I really can't lie to you. Besides that, like, DAX, like 7% tap. But nonetheless, like, especially when price reacts off 50% like that, if price does end up coming back up, I can't say that it doesn't just like react lower. And like, but a lot of times, like, if we react and come back up, we will just end up ripping up higher. Obviously it doesn't look like the case right now, at least, where we just came up, took liquidity. And this is really good data because it tells me, you know, if there's another situation where liquidity is sitting within the range, and even if we hit 50%, I could potentially enter at 71%, just understanding the risk behind it, obviously. But obviously there's more confluences in our favor, being that we know we can take Tokyo highs, react off this overall bearish order flow or this bearish price action, and then come down into Tokyo lows. So I think if you took that setup, you're solid, truly. UK 100, really nothing. Like, we have a nice liquidation of those highs, but nonetheless, not a fan of structure in itself. I'll pay attention to NAS. Does Legacy have oil? Yes, we do. I feel you. I feel you, Henry. I see what you're saying. So that's where, again, like, if we break those lows, which I obviously, like, I want to see DAX break those lows. It's just once we break those lows, I know we can have a deeper pullback, and that's like just not a bad thing. It's really not a bad thing, but nonetheless, it's like, one, it could come after my trading hours, which I don't necessarily want because then I can't take it. But ultimately depends on how much volume. I mean, we're only 10 minutes to open. I have another hour and 50 minutes for price to break and pull back here. We're flipping hard on DAX, kind of expected. Let's see what NAS is doing. NAS broke these lows. So again, like, we could play the bearish internal trend, but like I want to, guys, but nonetheless, like, I feel like it would just be a loss that it's like, obviously not like a low probability trade, but it's lower just because we can still react within this bullish structure to take prices higher. But I guess what really helps the context behind it is like the overall higher time frames and seeing that price took Tokyo highs. We have Tokyo lows resting below, so we know that we can definitely still sell off and have room to sell off. Just not a fan of that overall. I mean, the 15-minute looks solid. We'll see. We'll see if price pulls back now, and if it does pull back and gives us another like lower, that actually like decreases our probabilities of us going lower, just because we are now even deeper within that discounted bullish range. But it would be better in the sense of continuously seeing price trend lower and lower, and then we can assume that hopefully price does continue down into Asia lows. I honestly don't even want to play a break of this low like I was initially anticipating, just because we never made a new high here. We just kind of wicked it. So therefore, price can come like deep within this area and still rip higher. I doubt it, but nonetheless, like on the 5 minute, we just wicked it, didn't break a high. If we did make a new high, like close above this with a full body closure, this would have been considered our new swing, or at least internal low. But now this is, it's a low, I could say that, but it's not really a structured low. Like I love sells for DAX. It's just I don't want to enter premature and get absolutely screwed over. We'll see what happened on NAS here. I'm hoping we just have like a very big sell-off. Even if we do take Tokyo lows, which I hope we don't before we pull back, I still think we are bearish. Just from, again, we have a lot of other lows sitting down below to take out, to use as liquidity, so. What are you guys thinking? Give me your opinions on NAS. Oh, trading DAX, I love that. Oh yeah, W Luca. It rips though, I can't lie. No trades yet. Power Forum's only problem, yeah. Think it's doing great in power hour? Yes, sir. Pro question: when you say you're bearish, are you bearish for this particular hour session or the whole day? Thank you. Oh, you sniped gold. Here, I'll explain to you right now. So Lucas, I am bearish. Like, so when it comes to my analysis, like I look at higher time frames first to kind of get an overall picture. Okay, like we were previously bullish, and from a swing standpoint, we are bullish. But nonetheless, we know when we create these new highs, or at least have these bullish runs, we will have pullbacks, and then we will have continuations. So seeing this, obviously price can continue higher, but this is where I go to lower time frames to identify the overall structure of price and seeing, is there anything that can align with the fact that we should go bearish due to the fact that we know we can have a pullback. We get onto the lower time frames and we see that we started to have these bearish impulses lower, these pullbacks, and these continuous bearish impulses where I can ultimately assume that price should come down and take these lows here, take these lows, due to the fact that, again, price was previously bearish, and in theory, these lows should be taken, right? It's just a higher probability of seeing that happen. But again, so I guess I could, to answer your full question, I am bearish for the day, also the session, and even the hour. And that's just because a lot of things are aligning. The 15 minutes bearish, we go down to lower time frame. The one thing that's not aligning yet is the fact that within the 5 minute structure, we clearly are still bullish. Okay, so that's the one thing not aligning, but that's why I'm waiting for an overall confirmation that price, or that I want to see price break these lows to confirm that we, instead of being internally bullish, we're internally bearish, which would give me confirmation based off the higher time frame, the 30-minute time frame, and the 5-minute time frame, that we are now all lining up bearish, and I can definitely look to take those sells. Like what I'm breaking down right here is like the internal price action, and the reason, like, so this is like where you guys can definitely get confused, like the difference between swing trends and internal trends. But like to me, like this 1 minute, our last swing trend, which is considered to be the 5 minute too, was this push. But then we had the internal structure break these lows, had a pullback, continue lower. So within this internal trend of this swing move, we are bearish. Yes, but the reason or the problem with taking sells now is, yes, like we are still internally bearish and we can definitely continue to play that trend and price definitely can move that direction. But nonetheless, we may end up still respecting this overall bullish swing trend. And this could just be a deeper pullback to then take prices higher. And that's where, again, like a lot of you guys, if you start to understand multi-time frame analysis or the understanding of like swing and internal structure, you will start to realize like why you're losing, especially if you guys are facing more losses than anything. And I genuinely think it's the reason like I'm making good money trading. And the reason I started making good money trading was like when I really started to understand the concepts of premium and discount, multi-time frame analysis, internal versus swing trends. It's just very good to understand all of it. I think Enki says for him for right now. Just damn. Hey, wait until I see Coach Emmett. I think you're in the wrong chat, G. Had to use writing wedge for false confirmation. Nick from Cooking Power, and I miss every session. I know, bro. It's literally been 2 1-2s back-to-back days. Nice little moves. Yeah, George, that's how it is. Of course, Lucas, anytime. But yeah, like understanding the difference is very, very important. It'll save you from a lot of unnecessary trades. And again, like there will be times where you will wait. But again, like there's times where those setups are there. You're good to execute on them. Like yesterday's DAX sell. The entry was there. Right, we can go to the, again, higher time frame. And it's basically the same thing as NAS. We had that bullish run. We know that price, as it comes higher and higher and higher, I think personally it increases the chances of a pullback happening or increases the probabilities of a pullback happening. So I then look to lower time frames to start identifying internal structure shifts where I saw the 5 minute starting to flip structure, had a pullback, entered at 50% of that pullback range, just because again, like even with the lower time frame movement, just like the higher time frames where we're waiting for that 1 hour pullback, we'll see the same thing on the lower time frames where the 5 minute we'll have these pullbacks into a premium pricing in this case because it was a bearish leg, and then have its continuations. In this case, we didn't hit the full 1-2. I did take profits at 1-1 and the rest was taken out at break even, but nonetheless, price is now playing down lower and lower and lower, where if I would have held the full trade, yes, I would have hit 1-2, but that's just not my management plan. It's not. So still a beautiful trade though. And now we're kind of playing today where we're now expecting, well, one, I want to see these lows broken first. And then after that, unless these lows just get broken, like we could play this internal trend. Actually, no. I'm tweaking. I can't play the internal trend no more. Even if it gave it the setup. What I'm waiting for now is for these lows to finally be broken down here. And then this may happen, obviously, like within an hour or two. Play that pullback of that new bearish swing leg, enter 50%, and hopefully look to take price lower into that 50% move or into that 50% or equilibrium of that bullish leg, right? Because we will pull back within this leg, and then from there, probably expect buys later into the week. See what NAS is doing. We dumping? Ooh, we are. Nice. So again, when it comes to price now, we are still, I'm not going to play no sells because we are deep within this overall discounted price of this 5 minute leg. What I need to see now is I just need to see a break of these lows. And instead of waiting for those sells where we'd have to wait for the pullback to continue to sell, at least from, you know, from my standpoint, or at least you should, we could just end up playing the 1 minute pullback. Meaning we could see that price broke structure. We know that's going to pull back before it continues to sell off. At least it happens majority of the time. Identify some type of bullish structure shift and just take price higher, knowing that price, one, has targets as far as a pullback. And two, we know that we should be able to get out before 50% before price then continues or can continue back lower. So we could still be getting setups tonight. I'm expecting it. DAX is ripping. All right, that 7% trade, guys, would have smacked. I can't even lie to you. If we would have entered at 7% of this leg here, oh, it's not even the right fib. So if we would have entered at the 7% of this internal leg, which could have been a move. I really can't lie to you. 55-point stop. We'd already be up our 1 to 2. Basically 1 to 2.5 RR. We would have been in and out of this trade. But again, that's really good data for me. UK 100 ripped lower. Just waiting for NAS to rip lower. I think we should be able to take a NAS trade on stream. I think DAX, now that we're attempting to break these lows, I will have to wait for the overall deeper pullback. Of this entire leg. From the high, where we then broke structure at that low. I'm not worried. I'll try to be back when we're dropping 3-second L's. Yeah, Lexi. Nags is dumping hard. Yeah. I like it though. Again, directional bias is strong right now. I just want to see price actually break these lows though. And then from there, we can definitely look for break a structure. Let's see if we finally get it. I need a closure, not a wick, guys. Seton, what's up, G? I didn't realize it was you that typed. What a legend. Getting some good breaks lower. Looking good here. Oh my God, I wish we took that initial like setup. I mean, I can't say like, again, like it was there, but it wasn't there at the same time. Like I'm not really familiar, not necessarily familiar, but being that price already hit the 50% of that initial internal bearish range, had some type of reaction lower. I just didn't want to take this trade just because of that fact. I really can't say that. Even though it looked good, being that we were taking liquidity, tapping another level, it just not a trade that I don't even think I've ever taken. I can't say I've never taken a trade like that. I just typically don't ever, just because again, it can just be a fake out, like this initial reaction and seeing how price didn't hold strong to that. And a lot of it, again, was most likely due to the fact it wanted to take more liquidity. I can 100% agree with that. But nonetheless, again, like this is good data that tells me I could be looking for something, not necessarily looking, but if something like this presents itself again, obviously I need to stack more data with these types of situations, that I'm still within a good probability to overall take the next entry point, which was 71%. Because again, if you guys know, I usually enter 50%. We already hit 50%, so I couldn't enter there. Obviously, next option is 7%. But again, like typically, if price is going to move lower, it's going to move lower, unless it's going to come higher, and it's usually for either to fill in balance or take liquidity. We took liquidity. You know, it is what it is. Just really good data. Especially if you guys are trading with me, like the reason I talk about data so much, and the reason I want you guys to like know what I'm like ultimately like making observations of, is because I want you guys to be doing the same thing. If you're not doing the same thing, I'm sorry, like I don't want to say you're doing something wrong, but nonetheless, like you should be doing the same thing. You should always be making observations, not necessarily to like change your story. I mean, sorry, change your system. Like no, but it's ultimately to make sure that one, you're staying on top of things, or looking to identify ways where, again, like I could have made money there. But nonetheless, like, yes, it's not part of my actual model when it comes to my system, but nonetheless, it's something that did still kind of fall along with the same directional bias, the same kind of concepts within my system. It was just that one little flaw that I typically don't really come into contact with. Therefore, making those observations do tell me that, again, like we can, or I can in the future potentially look to still confidently enter those. But again, like data can show otherwise. Like we could have a situation tomorrow where it's the same situation, but price comes up. If we enter impulsively without actual data, we could just see price rip higher and higher and higher and higher. And again, that data is ultimately going to oppose that initial data that price did end up holding strong to that directional bias. But obviously, again, like we were looking good from sells from the get-go, just from higher time frames, from lower time frames, it looked good. But NAS is, again, like I'm not going to look for sales, guys. Even within this internal bearish trend, like yes, you definitely can, because yes, again, if price is going to go bearish, it'll most likely play off of this bearish leg, most likely, okay? But obviously it doesn't have to, especially because we're still playing within that bullish leg. So take at your own risk. I'm not taking it. I'd rather wait for the break and then play some type of pullback. That's what I'd rather do. What happened? Can you guys still hear me? Yeah. All right. See you in the morning, G. Internal lows on DAX got broken. Yeah. I just don't like that we're wicking this swing low. Like I want to see a break of this swing low, to be honest. And the reason like I kind of didn't want to consider this internal, I guess this is now an internal low, but nonetheless we're wicking this too. Like when it comes to this setup here, like I originally liked it because it was creating some type of low. And yes, we can end up reacting off this leg here. But nonetheless, like the one thing about it is with us not making a new high here, and the reason I say we didn't make a new high here is because we didn't close above this previous high. Therefore, to me, this is no longer like a strong leg. So this is where I'd now rather wait for a break of this low, because with price not creating a new high, just kind of wicking it. Yes, it takes liquidity. We know that price can run down to further areas of liquidity, and that's most likely what's going to happen. Nonetheless, price can still abruptly go higher within this leg before coming down lower. Obviously, the probabilities of it are very low, but nonetheless, like this isn't a considerable low for me anymore. It would have been if price would have closed above this high, but it didn't. If it did, this would be a good low because it led to a break of structure. But this low did not lead to a break of structure, it just led to a liquidity sweep. But that doesn't mean you can't take it. But again, just understand my overall analysis behind it and the reasonings behind it and see how things play out. Obviously, I'm not always going to be 100% correct, but nonetheless, like majority of times, like I am correct because the way I trade is I think how the markets move. I truly do. Again, we see it all the time, guys. We see prices moving in waves, downtrend, pullback, continuation, pullback, continuation, pullback, continuation, right? Until prices, again, tired of selling off and we end up flipping trend. And obviously within the lower time frame, we can look for situations where we can catch these pullbacks within a lower time frame standpoint before price continues higher, where again, we can even catch these lower time frames continuations to target these highs. And it's just a back and forth game. It really is. If you understand that, you're going to make money. I'll tell you that right now. I will tell you that right now. But again, no entry yet. Honestly, it's crazy how like, I mean, it's not crazy. April's been fairly good. I can't lie, especially during power hour. But we've had our fair share of wins. I don't think we've lost yet during London or power hour this week. Very nice way to start April, I'd say. I think we had an NQ win. We had a UK 100 win. DAX. No, I had one DAX loss, but we had a win right back after it on UK 100 to cover that loss. And then NQ's just been absolutely ripping clean. Just right now, we're still holding at those lows. I just don't like that. Hey guys, we're just waiting at this point. We'll see what happens. I really don't think I will get a setup on stream, to be 100% honest with you guys. But again, like I'd rather wait for something of quality and at least tell you guys what I plan on doing before, or instead of just taking a horrible trade. Like I just don't want to take a shitty trade. Not only because again it affects me, but it affects you guys. No way, are we in replay mode? Okay. I was like gonna say. So I don't know why I was stuck in replay to accidentally hit it. We're good. Kind of coming down, breaking these lows finally. We just have a new 15-minute open. Again, like my one thing with this is I have a feeling we will break these lows, guys. And if we do end up seeing a pullback, again, it has to happen. It has to happen within an hour and 30 minutes. It may not. Maybe we get to 50%, but we may not, and it's just a trade I can't take, and I just have to watch play out. It's still good data, but nonetheless, like again, I'm very strict to my overall time, which is the first 2 hours of London where I'm actually looking to place trades. We're finally gonna get a break here. Oops. So hopefully get a break finally, and then we can actually potentially play a pullback here. So I could be wrong. Like we could get a trade on stream. If price is gonna move this much strength. 12 bits gold. Let's go, bro. Another bottom wick. That's ugly. I want to see price just absolutely tank through these lows here. I think we pulled back now. Tank through these lows. Hopefully play the pullback up higher and catch a buy potential. But even if there's no buying opportunity and price just comes back up, we can play this range and just look to continue to sell price off as well. But the reason I'm willing to play a pullback is because I know, one, I need the pullback either way to sell off or to look for sells. And two, price typically will pull back before it continues with this overall move. Unless it just absolutely rips. It just melts. Which, weirdly, we've been seeing price just absolutely take a shit at certain times. Or not even take a shit, just get so much volume. Like an hour into London. Which is so weird. What's today? Thursday? What the fuck are these prints? Looked away for a second. I don't want to click it. I'm scared. I'm not going to click it. Send me a screenshot, Henry. I'm so scared to click links. I don't know if it's just me, guys, but too many scammers. And I know Henry's not a scammer, but I'm so cautious. I never click links. Henry, I know you're not a scammer. Don't worry. I'm so cautious when it comes to anyone. So extremely cautious. Right, any trade? No, but we're waiting for sells. I mean, not necessarily sells. We're waiting for an opportunity here on NASDAQ where we're now breaking this low. Did we? I think we barely broke it. Yeah, we finally broke this low. I am potentially going to play a pullback, but truly speaking, I mean, we could. So like, I want to see a better break, first things first. But I guess it doesn't necessarily matter too much, especially if like we see price flip trend internally, where we get a break of this high here. have a pullback, and continue higher. The only way I'm not going to take buys here is if we just absolutely straight shot into 50%, where I'll then just flip to sells. And the reason I'm going to flip to sells is because from a swing standpoint, I expect price to go lower. I'm just willing to buy in playing this pullback if a setup shows itself and if there's confirmation. Okay. But nonetheless, I just have a feeling like, let's say price does go deeper and lower down, and it doesn't create any type of new internal structure, and we still have to wait for a break this high. At that point, I'll probably just end up playing the 50%, which now that I think about it, it could be a big ass stop loss. I mean, it's not too bad. Not too bad. It's not ridiculous, but it's not like amazing. Because our 1 and 2 is 68 points. We can definitely see a rip down. We have lows on lows on lows on lows. But again, we'll see what happens. We did technically break it, I believe. Yeah. At least from a 5-minute standpoint. So we're gonna look for buys first. If we break this high without touching equilibrium, have a pullback, we'll play that. But we'll see what happens. We're gonna give it some time. Is 28 pickup car mobility one of the biggest car selling sites in Germany? I see you in this, Henry. Yeah, I'll take a trade on Legacy, on NQ at least. Like if I get a setup for DAX, this will be on my live account. Which I'm still waiting for that 15-minute break of this low. But again, like the only way I'll take a trade on my live account, or at least on DAX, is if it plays out and if it hits 50% before 2 a.m. But NQ, yes, we'll be playing it on Legacy. We're just now waiting. Let's fix the fib now. I hate that it always like goes back to default. Whoa, why is the range like way different? I mean, that makes sense. No, that's why. I'm tweaking. Wrong high. I was about to say. Either way. Again, like once we break these highs, we may just end up ripping into 50%, and at that point, I'm going to look for sales. Like, and that's playing it from like a more of a swing standpoint, like what we could do as well, which again could just take longer, is once we get this push here, if we don't end up creating a new leg pulling back and we hit 50% first, we could end up playing like a 1-minute break and then continuation, but nonetheless, I think I just played the 5-minute. We're still expanding lower, but nonetheless, like with this new high being made here, if we break structure, I'll consider it a decent high. We could end up just flipping that, which gives us a lot more room to play that pullback if possible. We do have Tokyo lows down here too, so we could just come rush and take that. But then at that point, I would prefer to play the buys just because we're taking buy side liquidity. Also, if we start seeing structural flips or a trend flip, that's honestly nice to see. I don't know how many contracts I'm going to use yet because I don't have my stop loss yet. Not UK broke earlier highs and possibly pulling back. My one thing with UK 100 is like, being that I was like playing this leg yesterday, we never broke this low, and we're just kind of, we're still failing to break and make new highs, and that's where I'm still getting a sell bias, also from the fact that we do need a more overextended pullback. And like, I guess you can play like this new internal price action to go lower, but like, nonetheless, I believe, if I remember correctly, even that is not the best. Like, internal structure is now bear. No, it's not. I'm just not a fan of UK 100. I'm really not. Like, we are breaking these lows, but I think we need to go and break these lows down here to confirm internal bearish price action. And even then I could say these lows, but I do think we have room to continue lower, again, based off the higher time frame context, as well as the fact that we have a lot of resting liquidity here. But that's like, it's not that it's not enough to take, but I really like having good structure. And I just don't feel like playing this bearish leg is going to pay off all too much. Obviously, with me expecting DAX to go down, like we can expect UK 100 to go down as well. But I just have a feeling we're going to have a little bit of a deeper pullback for some reason, and then we may see lower prices. But we are just ripping. I think we just took Tokyo lows, if I'm not wrong with you guys. Yeah, we just took Tokyo lows. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if price continues to tank. I love that the directional bias was correct. But now, again, what we can play is a potential pullback. If price does start creeping higher, breaking this high, we can play something like that. We are just ripping lower here. Alright, getting fucking tired. Generational wealth on this cell, I know. It's either GC Taco or MGC. I mean, it's both, but one's micro, one mini. We're just ripping lower and lower. I mean, I can't be mad that the directional bias was correct. I just had no entry. Even if we would have played this bearish leg here, we never got entry. Again, with DAX now breaking these lows, I will wait for a pullback to play lower. But again, I only have like an hour and 14 minutes for price to make that type of move, which can't say it can't happen, but it's probably unlikely. Especially if price wants to dip a lot lower before we have a deeper pullback. But nonetheless, I'm still going to be looking for it. And if it doesn't hit, I'll just remove limits and just see if price does end up playing out within the overall bias that I had. And if it does, great. But NQ still weighing, still ripping. Like, I definitely think with NQ though, like, I feel like we will get this pullback at least on the 5 minute and continue to dip lower, where we can still play it on the 1 minute. I'd preferably like to trade the 1 minute pullback, but if obviously we can't. Yo, is my volume off, guys? What's up, Callie? Exit it out, like close it. So at the top, you'll see where it says like chart or like workspace. Just close it. Press close and then go to market and then press chart and then retype it in. What's up, body man? We're just ripping lower, guys. Wow. I mean, I can't be mad. Like, again, we just had no setup. But I like to see price moving in our direction. Refresh stream. Oh, you're not talking to me. Could have bought images off the snap sign. No. What are you doing? Luca's dog is cool, but he's a character. He is a character. I'll tell you that. We're ripping. Could start pulling back here. We'll see. If we continue lower, like the thing is, like by the time we get this break, we might as well just play the sells, because at that point, unless price does just barely break these highs and has a pullback, I just have a feeling we will get that pullback and we'll just see price go into 50%, which at this point we are looking at a pretty big stop. I can't lie to you. 45-point stop. That's kind of not shit, but especially when we go for 1 or 2, like I'm expecting an 80-point move at that point, which again, like I know I can play it because from this higher time frame, we know that price at least should, in theory, have a pullback of this larger leg down, especially to fill a lot of this imbalance. Some of you may see a gap too on your screen, which is beautiful. If we break these lows again, I'm probably just gonna hop off stream, and obviously I'm still gonna trade for the next hour, but again, I'm not always gonna be on stream, guys. Obviously, I'll let you guys know again, like the overall idea behind things before I look to take them, or before I exit, or before I hop off stream, whatever you want to say. Just to give you guys an outlook again on like my overall ideology. If we do end up coming lower and we just continue to expand this range, obviously our 50% gets close to that internal structure that we're waiting to be broken for potential buys. If that happens, again, like I'm not gonna play buys anymore. I'm gonna go to sells, because again, from a swing standpoint, we are bearish. The only reason I'm playing buys is because I know we can pull back and have that bullish move higher into the equilibrium. But nonetheless, if we don't want to, or I mean, it's not that if we don't want to, if we just kind of straight shoot it up to 50%, not really have good structure on the lower time frames, that's where I'm still willing to then flip bias to sells. And it's not necessarily flipping bias. Like again, my bias is sells from a long or longer term standpoint. But I will still take sells at 50%. Obviously, you can take them higher. Like truly, if you wanted to, you can play 50%. I mean 71%, especially because we have some nice imbalance here on the 5 minute. It's an order block. It would definitely give you a better stop loss. And as far as RR, you'll definitely be hitting your 1 to 2 if that's what you go for, a lot faster than if your entry was at 50%. Because look at the difference between entering at 7%, 2.39 RR, 1 RR. But again, like that difference, just because like you can catch a bigger R, nothing says that price has to come into that 71%. So that's like the downside of it, is if we were to wait for the 71% retracement, price just may react off 50% and then we don't even get in the trade, right? But obviously it goes both ways. So you guys know my idea. I'll definitely look to enter 7%. It's going to be a bigger stop, yes. But I'm comfortable because I do expect lower prices as we go into New York as well. I'm just being honest with you, especially to take these lows, okay? Obviously our 1 to 2 does not come before these lows are taken, which sucks. And obviously if we continue to even expand this range more and more and more, that means our stop loss or our TP is getting bigger, bigger, bigger. But nonetheless, I do expect heavy sales. It's just a matter of if and I guess when. Not even a matter of if, it's just when. But I'm getting tired. I'm out of here. Done that I had same problem last time. Did you fix it? Damn, Henry actually got fucked. But I'm out of here, guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We've had a great week so far, but again, doesn't necessarily mean we need to take a trade today. But I do still think there's a trading opportunity. I just won't be on live stream. But again, you don't always have to rely on me. And it's not that, again, like I'm here to help you guys. But the reason I say don't rely on me is because at any time, like I could just step away from streaming and you don't have me anymore. Nonetheless, I don't think that's going to happen for a very long time. But you never know, right? Where again, I want you guys to ultimately learn how to trade on your own, or at least understand enough to be able to, even when I do tell you guys my idea before I get off stream, you still know when and where to execute. Again, this entire range, I just drop my fib, find the equilibrium point of the overall range, and I look to enter sells as we tap that area. If we continue to see an overall like stretched out range, and we just continue lower and lower and lower without a pullback, again, entry moves lower because the equilibrium is now at this point compared to where it was within the old structure. But again, entry, equilibrium of this leg right now from the highs to the lows, that's where my fib is. We'll see what happens. We'll see. Obviously, it looks like we are getting potentially some bullish volume. And within an hour, if I get the entry, I'm going to enter. I'll probably keep you guys up to date in my personal Discord. Oh, that's fucked, George. Oh my gosh. I love you for that, George. Don't tell Luca. I'm going to do it. You're always going to be in the B riddle. It's always going to say demo. Even if you pass the account, even if you're on instant, it's always going to say demo. Wow, we are getting some bullish pressure here. Either way, I'm out of here, guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, 11:45 p.m. PST. Later. Later, YouTube. You guys are awesome.